little bit in the Public Works Department and the great work that they're doing. Nikki Esposito is going to be up here with me. Come on up, Nikki. And is going to do the heavy lifting today, but I want to make a short introduction and thank you for being here. And this is one of the very happiest kinds of press conferences that I have the privilege of doing every day, as you know, and I mean every day. The work of our City Public Works and Utilities Department touches every resident of our community. Water, wastewater, sidewalks, bus service, and streets, roads, streets and roads, more and more. We often take all of these things for granted, but these infrastructures and services are essential to having a safe and productive community now and in the future. Today we're going to focus on roads, specifically how increased investment, new ideas, and innovation are leading to better streets for Lincoln. All members of the team, from the director, Mickey Esposito, to our design teams, to our crews on the street, out in the bad weather, have one goal in mind: to get you where you need to go safely and quickly. 2016 was another historic year for street improvements in Lincoln. Mickey will have many more details for us here in just a few minutes, but I wanted to hit on just a couple of highlights. The charts up here show you a couple of things. They show you that we're, first of all, continuing our record pace of community improvements. Since 2009, we've improved over 90 miles of arterial roads, arterial streets. As you all know, those are the most important streets and the heaviest used streets, including nearly 18 miles last year alone. These are streets in all quadrants of the city, including, as you can see, Northwest 48th, Superior, North 70th, North 84th, I guess North and South 84th, I think, Old Cheney, and West South Street. Also, in the neighborhoods, we've improved 632 blocks of residential streets since 2009, all across the community, 80 of those blocks last year alone. Increased investment has been essential, of course, to these new accomplishments. Wheel tax dollars, state gas tax funds, federal funds, and savings from the Antelope Valley project all contributed to our ability to do more. But just as importantly, we're finding innovative ways to get the most out of every dollar. New equipment, technology, materials, and strategies, all these things are helping us to, in fact, make faster and longer lasting repairs. They are enabling our crews to be more efficient and complete more permanent repairs. In short, our transportation team is matching specific road needs with the most cost-effective maintenance and repair strategies. Yesterday I spoke at the Face the Chamber luncheon. I was asked a question about potholes. Imagine that, Mickey. And they asked how those new pothole patching machines were working. They wanted to know that. I didn't have a full answer for them, so I'm counting on you to start out your part by giving a full report on that. All right, so with that, why don't you take over at the pothole juncture here.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. We want to sincerely thank you for your leadership and your support, your faith in us in addressing these transportation challenges that we have, including potholes. Pothole repair is one of the most challenging aspects of our street improvement program, but a vital one to keep Lincoln on the move. We want to move people safely and efficiently, so we have to have a robust pothole repair program, and we think we're on the way. More than a year ago, we uncovered an intriguing opportunity to tackle potholes. At the time, we were using really more conventional methods. We were very labor-intensive, using a four-person crew to put hot and cold mix out on the streets with shovels, just placing the material with shovels. But with a portion of the Antelope Valley project savings, we discovered that we could purchase 4 pothole spray patchers to allow 1 crew member to do the work of 4. New technology and innovation. It would serve as a force multiplier, empowering crews to stay on top of pothole repairs in less time using fewer resources. In addition, the material used to fill the pothole and the method of material replacement, it promised a longer lasting and enduring repair. Even more importantly, these new machines would create a safer work environment for our crews, keeping them in the vehicles and off the street. So that proposal sounded pretty great at the time. And in May of 2016, 4 spray patchers were fully deployed out on the streets, producing the following results. So I want to direct your attention to this graphic. But the first thing is that the spray patching emulsion, the actual material used to fill the pothole, has performed as promised. It produces longer lasting repairs and even works better on damp surfaces. So secondly, we are getting more done in less time using fewer resources, and the data is really showing that, and that's what's here. So let me direct you to this. We have here a weekly pothole effort over the past 18 months. And what this graph shows, the red field down at the bottom are all the citizen calls for requests. So these are the repair requests in red. And then we've got a blue field here that are all the personnel hours involved in repairing a pothole. And then finally, we've got the gray field, which represents all of the repairs that are completed. If you split this chart about in half, if I look at this spike right here, that represents May of 2016. And May of 2016 is important because that's where we had the spray patchers fully deployed. So this is pre-deployment, and this is post-deployment. And what you see happening is that you're seeing more gray. That means that we're getting a lot of repair done in fewer time, in shorter time, fewer personnel hours. So you're seeing a lot of space there created, and that represents the force multiplier. So the dashed line is also important. If you look at this dashed line across, it represents a steady decline in hours spent fixing potholes. And what we're able to do then is divert and redirect those resources toward making more permanent repair. The chart also shows something very interesting here about citizen calls. They're actually also on the decline. You can see especially here in this area where we have virtually no calls coming in. These spray patchers allow us to respond quickly and more proactively. These guys are on the street hitting them night and day, and we're seeing the benefit of that. And the repairs are really working. So this is all great stuff, and we love it. I guarantee you, though, after having press out there about potholes, we're going to get a lot of calls from the public. It sort of is on their mind when it's out in the press, and we do get a response from them. So again, now that we've captured time through efficiency, we can redirect crews to completing more permanent repair. The other thing we're doing, we're taking that time with other new repair strategies and materials. For example, gap mastic. It's a material that fills road gaps and cracks. It adheres to the existing roadway and even flexes with roadway expansion for a more enduring repair. We're also using new milling machines capable of removing damaged asphalt more than 10 times faster than previous methods, allowing us to complete a higher volume of permanent repairs. These are just a few examples of how our transportation team is driven to seek new methods, new technologies and strategies to improve our streets. And I continue to be impressed with the work and innovation of our transportation team. As I understand it, we have a pothole patching video that we'd like to show you, and I'll do my best to walk through it. I might ask Ty to come up here and help me through it, but if we can call that up. So this is the spray patcher actually blowing out the existing hole. It's like a leaf blower, if you will, so it clears it out. And that's very important because you want the spray patching material to adhere to the surface. Now is the phase where, yes? Oh, now is the phase, excuse me, now is the phase where the emulsion is being placed. And this is kind of a gumminess that allows the asphalt material to stick to the hole. This is the actual pothole material. It's a little thicker. You can see it filling that hole. And it'll sort of work with the emulsion to become tacky. This takes a little while because you want it to be even with the surface. God bless you. And this is finally the aggregate that's placed. It's sort of a more rocky gravel that allows people to drive over the pothole right away. We don't have to wait for things to dry. It's pretty incredible. Now we're doing a little bit of crack sealing work and then addressing this other pothole. And again, you get back to the safety of the person in a cab, not having them out on the street where drivers can pass. And you saw a car run right past the machine there. Same process. And there's the final layer of gravel, allowing the public to travel right over. One other tidbit about this is we were able to, Ty sort of studied our street sweeping activities at night and discovered that we could reduce some of that service to be able to deploy pothole patching equipment at night on arterials while travel volumes were very low. And it served as a force multiplier yet again. So this is stuff that you can do day and night, and it really has proven to have great result. So with all that said, I just want to thank the mayor for his support and leadership, and I really thank the Lincoln citizens for this significant investment in transportation the past 8 years. We are accomplishing more than ever, and the data is really showing that. So thank you for the investment, and thank you for the patience and care you have out on the road and keeping our workers safe. With all that said, Mayor, about 2016, we were really excited about that year, but we've got more coming for 2017, and in 2 weeks, in another press conference, we want to reveal our plan for keeping Lincoln on the move. So thank you.
Mickey, thank you very much. I want you and Ty and all of the people in Public Works to know that, at least anecdotally, as I go out and about the city, we're hearing lots of favorable comments about the trend line with regard to potholes and streets and the whole business. And I hope people are feeling good about what's happening. Since 10 years ago when I first took office, we've increased funding for roads at about 58% or so. So more dollars are being put into it. Thank you to the taxpayers for that. But we're certainly hoping that they can see the benefits, the tremendous increased benefits with regard to the condition of the roads coming from those tax dollars. So with that, I hope you all will join us in 2 weeks to hear about the preview of what's next coming out of Public Works.
Exciting.
More good things. And with that, I think I'll stop and invite your questions.
Could you put a figure on the number, you said that there's been a 58 increase for road funding, like what does that translate into dollar amount?
There's been a what?
58 increase, $58, you said 58% increase for funding. Could you put that into a dollar amount, sorry?
So in FY 910, do you want to break that down for them, Mayor? You started.
I think it's just the total, so in 910, it was 35.4.
Okay.
And then coming up to the present year, it's $60.6 million.
So this graph can show you. Not at all. That's a good
Do they
point.
have paper copies of the graph?
Oh, good.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Also the graph that lists like where the funds are coming from.
That's right, and also just note that 16, 17 is here, 18, 19, so 20, 21, this goes all the way out to the 2021. Okay?
We haven't quite got the pothole season, and it looks from your chart that it's in March. So do you, and I do see that we have fewer complaints compared to a year ago in February, it looks like. What do you expect during pothole season? Do you expect to have fewer complaints?
So I do want to go back to February of 2016, because I want you to see this demonstration of this spike. This is a really important indicator for us. So if I if I cut this in half here, this is pre-deployment, post-deployment. And this spike was the 2016 pothole surge of February of 2016. So, yep, no, that's okay. So, yeah, we should start to be seeing potholes because of the freeze-thaw cycles that occur. Like tomorrow is 65 degrees. That's incredible. So, we'll see. But, yeah, we should start to see potholes currently and continue probably even into late March, April. I think that's certainly possible.
You expect fewer?
We would love to expect fewer. I mean, I think we're ready to respond if we have more than we anticipate. But, I mean, the data is showing that we're able to get out there faster, fewer man hours, and this is another one I want to address. This is post-deployment. Again, we were able to accomplish so much with 4 spray patchers. So we might have just as many potholes. That could be possible, but we're able to address it very quickly using fewer resources.
Well, I was wondering if all the work in the last couple of years
Oh,
would mean that you would actually have the streets in better condition and you wouldn't have all these many potholes.
absolutely. I mean, if you just look at Highway 2 as an example, we were diverting a lot of hours to fixing up Highway 2 and patching it up. So absolutely, road construction, the rehab program that Thomas Schaefer leads will absolutely help with that. Is there anything else on that?
Do you have any idea when was the last time you had this many miles of arterial streets in the program?
Yeah, can I share the data from, I think Thomas had a chart that he shared with us. We had about double this amount in 1973. So that was the highest spike I had seen. So we're doing really well in getting construction out there. But it was about double what we've done. And when I asked someone about the history of that, they said that they had a situation in the 70s where the roads were just deteriorating to the point that they had to surge in mill and overlays all over town. So that was an interesting backstory. But I think I was 1 year old. 1 year old.
Do you know if we've done almost 18 miles in the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years? Or-
This is the highest I had seen, but Thomas, why don't you come up and talk about, you don't have that graph.
You know, a couple of years ago, we did 16.9, so we've been that high when the stimulus was going on. But if you look, that 90 over that time period, that 7-year time period, is probably the most we've done. If you take just about any 7-year time period that I saw, the records I have go back to 1970. And save for that big spike in 73, this 17.8 is number 2 on the list. And then I think number 3 was 16.9. So two out of the 3 highest arterial time periods have been in the last 7 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Does the city plan to get more of these material sprayer trucks, or what are the plans to increase the operation?
We don't currently have any plans to procure more spray patchers. That might change in the future, in the long term, but currently we're pretty happy with their performance for right now, and we'll evaluate it as we go, as our needs get addressed. Really what we would like to do is, because of the time savings and the diversion of resources, diverting them to other more permanent repair, we really want to get on the proactive side of road preventative maintenance. So that's where our focus will be in the coming months. But I don't want to give anything away about the next press conference, but that's where our focus will be, on more preventative maintenance strategies. Okay.
Can I just double check, 2016, it would have been 56.2 million, right, on road?
56.2, yes.
56, yeah, I just wanted
And
to
so
make
this,
sure.
yes, that's a
thought I
good
heard something else,
clarification,
okay,
because I don't know if you can see from here, but this goes out to 2021. And
Yeah,
that's-
and I have that too, but I just wanted, I thought I heard something else, and I wanted to make sure this was.
You
yeah,
bet, okay.
Great, thank you.
What challenges does the city still face with improving roads and with maintenance?
Do you want to answer that? I can answer that too. What-
I didn't hear the question.
What other challenges does the city face regarding, like, maintenance of roads and improvements? Like, what else, like, what are you guys still battling?
I can start, but you want me to start?
Go ahead and
Okay,
start,
and you fill
yeah.
in whatever. I think one of our most challenging issues is, again, developing a really robust preventative maintenance strategy. This is more corrective action. This is when your road is really deteriorating and you're having to have a rapid response to make sure it's safe to drive on. Where we want to get is preventing potholes in the first place, and developing not only the methods and strategies and innovations that will take, but also the financing and funding strategies to make sure that we have that robust program. So that's where we're headed. That gives you a little preview of the coming weeks and what we're going to talk about, but that's what we really need to focus on. Okay.
Are there any concerns about sustaining funding to keep improvements going? Well, I know that these taxes are here now, but what concerns does the city have to keep it going?
Absolutely. We always have our eye on funding and where those revenues are coming from. We were talking this morning about watching the federal government and what the feds might contribute to municipalities and states for transportation infrastructure in the future. It would be helpful if we had the levels of funding that we did in many decades prior. So we can talk about that again in the next couple of weeks, but absolutely, we're always challenged by those funding levels.
Would you anticipate then President Trump's putting a real emphasis apparently in infrastructure? Do you think that we're going to be benefiting then probably ahead from this?
You know, I'm crossing my fingers and toes about that. We're waiting to see. In fact, recently the governor has submitted a couple of projects, Nebraska projects, to the Trump transition team for consideration on federal funding. And absolutely, that would be more than welcomed by the city. But there has to be political will at that level to pass a meaningful transportation bill. They accomplished the first part with the FAST Act, but actually funding it fully, in addition to funding all of the gaps in the system. They really need to to help if they can.
I know there's
So we're
some
looking.
additional state funding that's coming out in legislation that's passed. Is
Mhm.
the city going to be getting quite a bit more money then down the road?
You know,
And the state funding that's already been going through,
okay, so,
and the proposal, so I guess it's a proposal issue too.
yeah, there's,
Very enhanced, but Senator Fisher, when she was in the legislature, also got something through that would have put a lot of money into roads around the state, and I think into the cities too, didn't it?
right, so Build Nebraska Act funding that Senator Fisher worked to pass in the Nebraska legislature, that's represented in our projections here, and it has been incredibly helpful. It's also been helpful to fund the South Beltway, as an example. So, yes, the state is doing a nice job of helping us at the municipal level with initiatives like LB 84, Senator Fisher's bill. And I think what we will see and what we hope for is a little more assistance from the federal side.
Last year too, wasn't there, so we could guess, another proposal that would also enhance funding that got through the governor's veto, actually, wasn't it?
So LB 610.
After the first, yeah.
Yeah, so Senator Smith from Papillion, he worked hard to pass a gas tax increase, which is also reflected in these numbers. So the state, again, is really doing its part to help municipalities, as well as the state, to get road projects and transportation funding. So it's just the stagnation happening at the federal level that we'd like to see the new administration direct its attention to. Okay.
All right, you all set?
Is there some questions?
Mickey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Okay.
All right.